Hey, how's it going? Jamie from Audiojack here. So in this video, I am going to teach you how to, if you've ripped a vocal from a track using something like Vox Remover or one of the other AI tools, and you want to do a re-edit of that track, I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to line up the vocals on the grid, because that's often something that people have trouble with, especially if it's not a kind of quantized track. So I'm going to use something that was recorded by a band in the 70s, so it's definitely like not going to be on the grid. It's going to speed up and slow down, and this is how to get the vocal exactly lined up. Okay, so I'm going to use a track called the Glenn Adams Affair. So I'm going to drag this original track into Ableton. And then also I've got the ripped vocal here. Cool. So the first thing that we need to do is make sure that the vocal is lined up with the vocal on the track. So there we've got the vocal. So let's just solo that.
It's just the groove, it's just the groove, it's just the groove. It's just the groove, it's just the groove to make you move.
Okay, so that's sounding good. Let's check here.
It's just the groove, it's just the groove.
All good.
It's just the groove, it's just the groove.
Great, okay. So that's lined up. If it wasn't, then you need to move this clip either left or right to line up. Don't warp it. You've got to move it as one. Otherwise, the vocals won't be lined up properly all the way through. So they should be exactly in time, but maybe they're just not quite lined up properly. Okay, so these are, so we're all good. The next thing that you need to do, so yeah, just another thing as well, make sure that warp is turned off for this part. So if you've got automatic warp long samples turned on, make sure that's turned off. And if this is turned on when you import these samples, turn it off. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to find the first beat of the original track. So here we've got this like little drum intro, so we need to get rid of that and we need to find the first beat. So it's there. Okay, so let's zoom right in, select this and this, so both tracks, and then we're going to delete the time on that section, so it starts from the first beat. So don't do it inside the clips, do it exactly like this, and then the two tracks will stay exactly lined up, which is important. Okay, so to delete time, if you're on Mac, do Command Shift and Delete. If you're on PC, do Control Shift and Delete. Okay, so hopefully that's on the grid now. Great, so that starts exactly on the first beat. So the next thing to do is we need to link the two tracks. So if we right click and link tracks. Okay, so now I'm going to try and click into this to start warping these beats to the right grid. So I'm just going to change this BPM down to about 120. I'm not sure what the exact original track is, but it's probably around there, but it's going to be a bit more difficult if we're way off. One thing that you'll notice is down here it's saying 2 audio clips with different lengths are selected in 2 tracks. So if we look at the length of these stems, we can see that they're slightly different, which means that we can't warp one and then that will automatically warp the other. So the way that we do this to get around it is you need to consolidate both the tracks at exactly the same length. Okay, so I've just picked this random point here. I'm going to hit Command and J, Control and J to consolidate them, and then once that's happened, you'll see down here the clip will appear. Okay, great. So if we turn the clicker on and then have a listen to how close it is to the grid now. Okay, so it's running slightly slow. I'm not sure if on Ableton 12 you can actually just warp it. No, so you can't. So you see, because you're working with two different tracks, you can't do an automatic warp, so we need to go in and do it manually. Okay, so what you want to do is just start off, so we can see that this snare here is a bit late, and this snare here is a bit late, and this one. So just kind of every few beats, move it onto the grid, and the more that you do this, the more lined up it'll be throughout the track, and you can kind of do it at longer periods. Okay, so I'll just play it while we're doing it so you can hear it still on the grid. So every now and again, stuff's more or less on the grid, I'm going to move it over. Another thing to be wary of here is just make sure you've got warp on complex setting, because that's not going to change the pitch when you're speeding it up or slowing it down, and it's a good sort of general warping engine. It'll keep the sample sounding quite natural. If you put it on beats, it's going to go really grainy and lots of little chops and weirdness in it. So if in doubt, always use complex. Notice that even if they're on the grid, I'm doing this intermittently all the way through, because if I don't put that on the grid and then I move something up here, it's going to move this stuff down here as well. So every couple of bars or 4 bars or something like that, just put a little warp marker in, even if it's on the grid at that point, and that'll just keep the track solidly on the grid all the way through.
It's just a groove, it's just a groove, it's just a groove. It's just a groove, it's just a groove to make you move. Just a groove, just a groove, just a groove, just a groove to make you move.
Okay, so that's more or less done. So now, if we just turn off this original track and just focus on the vocal.
It's just a groove, it's just a groove, it's just a groove.
So yeah, the quality of the vocal sucks, but you might find a AI vox remover that's going to do a better job than the one that I've used. Or if you get something off TrackLib that's samples that are from a band, then this process is great for that as well. So now, I can increase the BPM if I want to, and, drop my own drums on there, or whatever elements you want to put in there.
It's just a groove, it's just a groove, it's just a groove. It's just a groove, it's just a groove
Okay? So I hope that tutorial video was useful for you. Have fun doing some edits. Remember, if you want any in-depth one-on-one coaching sessions, feel free to hit me up on email. Okay, see you next time.